Hey guys, Paul Kolomeyer here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Square stock. So officially, Square announced their earnings today, but actually they were leaked yesterday, which is pretty funny. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at Square stock, and if you end up enjoying this video, then make sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe for more content like this, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. So here we can look, and Square was trading downwards today, because yesterday in the after hours, Square absolutely went to the moon because the earnings were leaked and the earnings were phenomenal, right? So over the last week, Square has been up massively, 13%. But that's even not that significant when we look longer term, how Square has been just consistently climbing, making an absolute beast of itself. It's been climbing like a hero, and it's becoming the hero it deserves to be. But I think that this is yet the start of Square's fantastic journey. Just like with Tesla, when people were shocked that Tesla went up to $500 a share, people thought that was crazy. But this is the same situation where Square is trading at $145 a share, which is so much more than it was at before. But still, I think that this can climb so far. So let's just start this off. Well, actually, I'd like to say that I actually got this stock suggested to me by Chicken Genius Singapore. He's a fantastic YouTuber. I'm going to leave a link to his channel. I absolutely adore the guy. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I really enjoy watching his content. You can see that I bought into this company not so long ago, but I'm still decently profitable on them, 16% up. Hopefully that percentage could be going in the hundreds range with time. I think this is also a pretty good time to mention as we scroll through here that I am not a financial advisor. This is my opinion. This is me looking at facts. This is me thinking how Square could do for the future. But in no way am I suggesting that you buy Square. If you look at the facts and you think that you should buy Square, that's on you, pal. I'm not saying anything. With that being said, and no legal liability being taken, we can see here CEO Jack Dorsey of Twitter. Amazing guy, great CEO. But yeah, that's about all the info there is to see here on Robinhood, other than the earnings, of course. Right here on Robinhood, we can see that the estimated per share was -5 cents, and the actual was 18 cents per share, which is really good. They absolutely smashed the predictions, just like you should smash the like button. All right, that's enough Robinhood. Let's go on here. So here we can see that this is the official Square earnings report. And all right, let's just read it. So in the second quarter of 2020, we achieved gross profit of $597 million, up 28% year over year. So 28% growth year over year, that's massive. That's really good, especially considering that we're in a global pandemic. And you would expect, since a large part of their business was on the seller side, you would expect that they would have dropped significantly, that they would have lost a lot of money. But that was not the case, which is shocking. But it makes sense once you read this. Cash App delivered strong growth, with gross profit up 167% year over year to $281 million. 167%. That's insane. That is just massive growth that really brings tears to my eyes. It's just amazing growth. Our seller ecosystem generated gross profit of $316 million, down 9% year over year. Right? So as I said earlier, you would expect this number to be down more. All stores are being closed, or at this point they're being reopened. Well, not in the US, because in the US we have a raging pandemic going on. Not too much fun, but yeah, majority of stores are still closed. And yet, on this seller ecosystem, Square managed to pull through and only be down 9%. I honestly expected that number to be down 40% at least. Look at the US economy, GDP, right? It's down massively, over 30%. And Square, which highly depends on transactions of their sellers, is only down 9%. So customers increasingly use Cash App as a way to send and spend money. In June, Cash App had more than 30 million monthly transacting active customers, with more than 7 million spending on Cash Card. So 30 million monthly transacting users. That's huge for how much they had before. They're really, really managing to grow this, right? So I'm just trying to find here a statistic for what it was at before, but I know that that's just so much more. I believe that PayPal's Venmo just reached 40 million, right? But that's still so massive. The fact that they launched this app so recently and that it's already catching up to their biggest competitor, Venmo. And if they continue growing at a rate like this, where Cash App's revenue has increased 106, or gross profit, I apologize, increased 167% year over year. If they keep growing at least half that rate, they're going to catch up to Venmo and surpass them by the end of this year, which is really, really good news for investors in Square. Look at the insane rate of growth that we have here. Like, this is within 3 years, right? 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Just look at how massively it's been growing. This is just beautiful, beautiful graphs to see for investors. Since so much of their growth has been based on Cash App and the peer-to-peer transactions, let's look at where that can grow, right? So in China, as many of you may know, China has very good peer-to-peer transaction stuff because they didn't quite have the infrastructure for credit cards in place when credit cards took place, but they just skipped the step. They went straight to peer-to-peer mobile payment transactions. So right here, mobile payment transactions in China reached a record 81 trillion yuan, or about 12.8 trillion in US dollars, right? This dwarfs the estimates. This is by Alipay, right? And that's the biggest peer-to-peer transaction software in China, and $12.8 trillion in transactions, right? Let's see here if we can find how much Square had in their transactions. So Cash App, they had generated $1.2 billion of revenue in Q2. That's revenue. And here, Alipay generated about $13 trillion in revenue. So you tell me, man, that sounds, if we rough this down to 1 billion and Alipay's at 13 trillion, that means that there's space to grow 13,000 times over for Cash App. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty significant, but it's highly unlikely that that's going to happen within the very short term. So I'd say that they're only going to be able to at least somewhat compete with that level of revenue 10 years down the line or so. This is a very long-term investment, but they're starting to grow there. So our seller ecosystem is uniquely positioned to help sellers adapt. In the second quarter of 2020, GPV from online channels was up more than 50% year over year and made up more than 25% of our sellers' GPV. So the fact that they were able to bring out a new system, which is the online channels, and make it go up so significantly year over year is really, really interesting for me. Really, just congratulations to Square for such a phenomenal quarter. So right here we can see that their net income for this quarter was only an 11 million loss, which we really expected more, especially with how Q1 was 106 million, and that was just at the start of the pandemic. So if we go down as well here, Square is also increasing their profit margins on their seller ecosystem. I read through this entire document prior, but yeah, their profit margin is increasing dramatically, and that's really good because even though their gross payment volume is dropping off in the seller ecosystem, which you would expect, right? Because the Rona got everything shut down, you would expect it to drop off. But just because they're managing to improve their profit margins, that is what's leading to such a small 9% year over year fall. 9% is nothing. Again, with how much the US GDP dropped, it's honestly phenomenal that they were able to do such a small loss. Another major source of revenue for Square is their small business loan program. And so if we're to look for this, we can go here and see JP Morgan Chase is the biggest bank, right? Because if they're going to be giving business loans, then their closest field that they would be in is banks, right? The only difference being is that they're doing smaller scale loans. But nonetheless, let's assume that by 2030, right, 10 years down the line, they're able to get 10% of this revenue that JP Morgan Chase currently has. 116 billion in revenue, and if we divide that by 10, it comes out to what? $11.6 billion in revenue. So if we're to look at that, and then here I believe it showed us what they're currently at. So they were giving out $873 million in loans this quarter, and we said that 10 years down the line, they may be able to get 10% of JP Morgan Chase, right? This is really conservative estimates, because with the way that their technology is so revolutionary, the way that they utilize artificial intelligence to measure just how much of a loan your business can get, it's so much more effective than a person who you can lie to, because Square knows all the details about your business. Their artificial intelligent analysis of your business will give the most statistically likely repaid loan for you. So if they were to get only 10%, right? This is very conservative numbers from 116 billion. So they would get 11.6 billion, which is about 12 times more than they're currently doing. Which, if just based on that part of the business, their stock would grow 12-fold. There's just so much room for potential here. There's so much that they could do. And this is just looking at the United States. This is just the United States marketplace. Square is trying to move international. If they're going to go international, which they're currently making attempts to do, which we can see right here, right? This is the official Square website. So card payment acceptance with the Square app is currently available in the US, Canada, Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom. Not that many countries, but it does show that they're working on getting their international front more powerful. And as they make their international front more powerful, it's even more of a potential to grow their business to absolutely massive scales. With all this information being taken, I guess it's normal for me to be so bullish, so excited for the future of Square. I just think that they could be an absolutely massive opportunity going forward. And I think that their current $145 price is nothing. I want to buy more shares, just don't have the funds as of right now. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I tried to do something a little more technical, look in more specifically, do research to find the best details for you guys, and in return for these details, I'd appreciate it if you would drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. Just really helps get those videos out there. And subscribe for more content like this. If you really enjoyed the analysis that I did here today, just subscribe and see more videos like this. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Till next time.